So this is what happens when two YouTubers meet in a grappling industry's no-gi advanced division. So standing across from me is Eric from the Vandal BJJ YouTube channel, and we are going to get right into this. So the first thing I want to mention, I'm about to do the most hideous feints you've ever seen in your life. And that's one big thing that I fixed post-tournament is watch how I'm like bobbing my head, like pretending like I'm going to shoot, but my head position really isn't changing that much. I think if I had emphasized more the level change rather than, just bobbing my head, it definitely would have been a lot more threatening. But we're going to get back into this, and I'm going to take this low outside single here. So the reason that wasn't super effective is because as I shot, notice how far I'm really reaching out with my arms here. So I'm not really getting a good impact onto Eric, and that's why he's able to start wrapping up on the guillotine, and we get into this scramble here. Now, while it wasn't super technical, it was still pretty fun to Uchimata somebody off the mat, and he's going to make me pay for that later. But so as we get back into the middle, I'm going to try the same trip that I did in the gi. I'm basically grabbing the tricep, and I actually feel Eric start to step and pressure forward with the left foot. So I'm going to try to catch and time him with the right foot as I sweep him over, but I didn't have enough pull on the elbow, and he just simply steps away. I'm next going to move on to the arm drag. So once again, grabbing that thumb in grip. If you guys watched the last video, I used this in the last match as well. But I'm going to pull that arm through, grabbing behind his tricep, pulling him forward, and I'm also swinging out my right leg. That way I can capture the single leg if he were to step through. But as Eric starts to wrap up on this guillotine, what I'll say about this is if I'm able to keep my left leg forward, this is the outside leg, he theoretically can't guillotine me because it turns my torso so my head is on the inside. Now I'm able to catch him off balance here and throw him down on the mat, but the fuck up that I made was I let go of the leg and went to pounce onto him, and I came in with my torso and I wasn't low enough, so he was pretty quick to stand up and actually locks me up into this body lock and tosses me on my ass, getting 2 points, but I'm able to straighten my arms and frame him away. From there, I'm just scooting my butt out and getting back into a guard. All right, so what's about to happen next is genuinely heartbreaking. All right, so we're starting off back in the middle. I'm inserting my reverse de la Riva hooks, and what I'm going to do next is sit up so I'm in the seated half guard position. Now, if you guys are fans of the channel and have been watching for a while, you know what attack is coming, but in order to set that up, I need Eric to relieve the pressure for literally a third of a second. So for those that aren't familiar with what attack I'm talking about, it's the hip bump triangle, or as I call it, the sunsetter triangle. And right now you can see that Eric's hands are all over my head. And as soon as I'm able to clear all the collar ties, this is when I decide it's go time. So my right arm here comes back as a post, my left foot kicks off the ground, and my left hand throws his head out here to the right side. The most common thing people get wrong with this attack is they think they're hip bumping their opponent. You're not. You are fucking jumping on them, okay? My left leg comes over his shoulders. My hips come higher than his shoulders. And using my hips and my leg here, this keeps the weight on the post, which makes my right leg here weightless, and I'm able to swing that over. Now, the problem with this one is you can tell Eric's on his feet already. Most people, they stay on their knees and they post out. Because Eric's on his feet, he's able to back away, and right before I'm able to lock my feet together, he just poshes up a little too high. I miss it. I try to transition into a K-guard, but he does a good job keeping the space between his legs covered, and transitions actually into his own leg attack from here. In terms of legs and leg lock defense, I don't necessarily know if I'm the best guy to give you advice on this, as you'll see soon, but all I'm doing is manage. All I'm focusing on is just freeing my knee line, and then from here I transfer into this deep de la Riva. I'm not really using this to sweep. I'm not super familiar with deep de la Riva, but I'm trying to threaten something, that way I can get into something else. Unfortunately, Eric capitalizes on that, stands up and sits into saddle. Now, my inside heel hook defense is pretty good, so I'm just making sure to keep my heels pointed to his back and my toes pointed out to the mat. Now, doing that should keep my legs safe, but in order to extract my leg, I need to start pushing down on this top leg here and freeing my knee line. Now, as I go and rotate, he transfers the leg to the other side. So now he has a reaping leg as well as my leg across his body. And at this point, I know in the next few seconds, he's going to start locking up on this heel hook. So I'm just hand fighting at first, but I'm not super familiar with how to defend outside from reaping. And as I try to sit up and push that leg off, I knew it was a Hail Mary play. I knew that, I can either free my knee line or I'm going to get tapped, but I didn't really have any other options at the time. So I just had to go for it, and he ended up finding the heel hook before I was able to free my knee line, and that concludes my match against Vandal Jiu-Jitsu. Now this will not be the last time we see Vandal. Hopefully I'll go up to Vancouver. I'm in Seattle, they're in Vancouver, so hopefully we can get some content sometime in the future. But yeah, that'll wrap things up. If you guys want to see more content like this, I have more matches from Grappling Industries as well as more matches to come in the future, so make sure to subscribe. Thank you for watching, and go pass some guards.